that's a feat. Grandma, thank you for giving your son to the Navy for 24 years. Today we're giving him back to you. Now he's a little bit older, he's a little bit worn out, a little bit beat up. And we're giving him back. You gotta share him with Missy and Lyric, okay? And Lyric, there's a lot of people that are here today that can say, he was my best teacher, he was my best chief, or he was my best friend. You should be proud of your daddy. Well, Charlie, 24 years, it seems like a long time now. But once you're here and you look back on 24 years, it doesn't seem all that long, does it? You just say to yourself, that's all I've ever done. It's so hot in here, my eyeballs are starting to sweat. So we all served with Charlie somewhere along the way. So I'd like to give a summary of his career with some of the key highlights that occurred during his time in the Navy. So Charlie entered boot camp a long time ago, December 28th, 1986. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year that was in Orlando, Florida. And after boot camp and air crew training, Charlie headed off to his first operational tour in 1988 at HS-14 as an H-3 air crewman. And he deployed with the USS Ranger for his very first cruise in the lovely and exotic Indian Ocean. That's a fun place to go. His first rescue was that year on August 2nd during a typhoon in the South China Sea, where Charlie rescued 6 people, including a baby, and also his fellow rescue swimmer. Davy Jones got a piece of Charlie's right shoulder that day, and it's never quite worked right since. He was awarded the Navy Commendation Medal for his heroic task, and he had not even hit his 2-year mark in the Navy. A year and a half later, Charlie was doing workups for deployment with HS-14 in preparation for Operation Desert Storm, when he had his first helicopter crash. Notice I said first helicopter crash. Yes, he had 2 of them. Some people like me have never even been in a helicopter because I'm a black shoe Navy guy. I wore brown shoes for Charlie today. Okay, so his first crash was 86 miles off the coast of San Diego in the water. The second crash was at a golf course in Palm Springs. Go figure, a golf course. It wasn't really a crash, it was like the auto rotation thing where the helicopter it's a controlled crash. So by the time they had got the helicopter back up and running, Charlie had already played 9 holes of golf. So now on a winning streak at HS-14, Charlie made his way out on USS Oldendorf to Desert Storm AR. And in February of 1991, while on a mission in Desert Storm, he engaged Iraqi enemy combatants with machine gun fire, and even on the ground, and was awarded the Air Medal, the Bronze Star, and the Combat Feat for heroic achievement in aerial flight. I think Charlie's the only guy I've ever seen with one of those. However, if you want more details on that story, you have to come to the party tonight and have Charlie tell you himself after a couple of cold ones, right? Charlie's next tour was at HS-11 from 1991 to 1993. Where he was awarded the NHA Air Crew of the Year Award, and he follow-on transferred to HS-1, which was a training frac, if you called it, from 93 to 96, where he served as instructor duty, and he could give back some of his experience to the young AWs that had just joined the Navy. Then after instructor duty, Charlie transferred to HS-15 from 1996 to 1999, and HS-15 he was awarded 3 all-expense-paid cruises to the Persian Gulf, where he had racked up over 5,000 hours in his flight log by the end of those 3 all-expense-paid cruises. He went on to his first tour at CBTSC from 2000 to 2003, where he became instructor of the year, and also he made chief in the year 2001 during his first tour at CBTSC. And everybody always remembers that. Very memorable when he made chief. Now, I first met Charlie at his next tour, JMF St. Augustine, and my first impression when he got there is, wow, what a young chief. Well, that was my mistake. He's actually older than I am, but at the time he looked about 10 years younger. But Charlie was known at JMF as one of those guys who liked to work hard and play hard. And anyone who's ever been to one of his parties, or out fishing, or out camping with him, you know what I mean. He likes to work hard and play hard. Oh, and oh, by the way, anybody who's ever hung out with Charlie for more than a few hours has heard the phrase, "You're a dumbass." That's your signature phrase, brother. Also, JMF, he was known as a guy who could really build a team. The folks that worked with him really liked to work for him. Sound of freedom there. Okay, the folks that worked for Charlie, they really liked working for him. They liked showing up for work. Charlie knew how to build a team. And when people came to work, they could have fun. And he was really good at helping people develop themselves to their full potential. And that's one thing I really liked about Charlie while we were working. We also had a lot of good times there. And also his wife, Missy, and my wife, Annie, became very good friends. Went to a lot of English auctions there because, you know, we were English. And then Charlie's final tour, he came back here at Jacksonville to CBTSC, where he had the honor of working with all of you again. And 2 of the sailors that Charlie recently worked with just made chief last week, and I think Charlie probably had a little bit to do with that, because that's the kind of guy he is. And then just yesterday, I thought it was really neat. The guys that work with Charlie had a little retirement ceremony for him over there in the conference room. And it was very cool. And they gave him that little fish. There's the fish thing right up front you see up there on the right-hand side. It was awesome. That has got to be the coolest retirement gift I've ever seen. Very creative. So it's been a long and good career. Now it's time to wrap it up, Charlie, and transition to being a civilian again.